Okay, let's move on to the unit packet and the unit calendar. So now you have an idea of the grid. These things are going to really help you as far as keeping on track. So at the very top of the grid, so I'm on that same grid page we were just on, okay, I'm going to talk about what we call the suggested calendar. So there's this button, if you click on it, it will take you to the suggested calendar for that unit. And the reason I say suggested is because, again, we are self-paced, so you're going at your own pace, but I want to give you some guidelines to help you so you don't fall behind or you don't get too far ahead. We want to stay relatively close to this just so that we know we're accomplishing what we need to do that day and staying mostly on track to finish in a timely manner. But you still get to do it at your own pace. So some days you might be a little slower than others. Maybe you're on a roll and you're just going a little bit faster. That's fine. But you want to be kind of near where this would be. So this just happens to be for this one. And if you're in Math A, this might look a little different, but pretty darn similar. But anyways, you'll see that like if we don't have school or it's an institute or something like that, it'll be kind of grayed out. And then I just explain what is on each day. And it tells you what part of the grid you should be on. So like this one. How we started the grid this day, so 1A, and then sometimes you might have like 2 sections you need to try and complete because maybe they're not as long, or maybe you need to put a little bit more rigor into your work time and try and get a little bit more done. Sometimes there's an assessment, and so I'll just kind of draw your attention to that, formative assessment versus summative. And you notice how I said we have 4 or 5 levels, or we always have 5 levels in our grid. Well, this only goes to 3. Remember how there's parts that you need to get to versus extra. So that's where you can find this is on this button called Suggested Calendar. So again, you want to stay close to that, but it's okay if you're not exactly on the same thing. It's just a guideline. That's why it's called suggested. The other thing you might need is, let's say we forget our materials and we forgot our packet at home. We misplaced it, or maybe we left it at school and we want to do some work at home. There is a digital packet here that you can use to kind of guide you. It's the exact same thing you have, but just on the computer versus paper. You still need to use your paper packet, but you can use this as well. Just in those times where you forget. That happens to us all, so this can help you out. Okay, so that's where those 2 things will always be at the top of your grid for that unit. Okay, so like there'll be a new suggested calendar, a new packet for the next unit. Okay.